Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is your Vedic astrology coach Rajat Kapoor and welcome to my channel The Legit Astrologer. In my channel I make videos on Vedic astrology. I talk about transits. In the recent times I have made a number of videos. Between 20th till 23rd of July, Mars or Mangal and Ketu are going to be coming in close contact. They will be at the same degree conjunction in the sign of Leo in the nakshatra of PurvaPhalguni. Now there is a lot of fear mongering that is happening in the name of this conjunction, not only now since the last few months, but we've been witnessing certain peaceful situation that we are gradually stepping into, and that is something which I would expect. Now to understand the effects of this conjunction, we must understand PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. Now last time when this conjunction happened, people fearmonger very quickly, but they do not present historical astrological facts. Last time this conjunction happened, the last two occasions of this conjunction was in 1989 and 1970 when Mars and Ketu came at the same degree in the sign of Leo. But that happened in Magha Nakshatra. It did not happen in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. So of course that would lead to totally different kinds of results. And I could say that from a regional point of view, there is of course a couple of regions that need to worry a bit, but I do not expect detrimental effects of this conjunction. And I'm going to talk about as an ascendant what you should be doing. Firstly, there will be general advice, and then of course I'm going to talk about for each ascendant as well as moon signs in terms of what you could expect in this conjunction in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. Now based on historical transits of 1970 and 1989, from a regional point of view, I want to throw some light on two specific regions. The first region is, and of course you can see these three different charts here highlighting the aspects of this conjunction. What happened in 1970 vis-a-vis 1989 and also 2025. So there are similarities as well that you would see that both Saturn and Jupiter are in dual signs, which means Jupiter is in Gemini and Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. Both of them are dual signs. Moreover, Mars is having an 8th drishti or aspect on Saturn. So from a regional point of view, Turkey and its surrounding countries need to worry a little bit here, because I could anticipate some sort of terror activities, some sort of threat related to aviation, related to travel. So that could be there. I do not expect any detrimental threat or any devastating threat, but yes, this is more related to security, breach of security, or some of these reports that we could expect from Turkey, Jordan, and the surrounding areas. The second region that needs to be a little bit concerning in terms of a natural disaster is the southeast coast of the US. So South Carolina and the surrounding areas, and also Caribbean. So we could expect between end of July till August a hurricane to create some sort of devastation or some sort of disturbance in this area. This could be quite intense. Maybe a category 4 or a 5 is something which I anticipate. So this is mostly at the general level. However, see, the disaster management capability, the infrastructural capabilities, the technological capabilities in terms of assessing the awareness of the situation is way more advanced than it was maybe in 1970 and 1989. The preparedness for such events is way more advanced. So I would not really expect, another hijack to happen. But yes, there could be some sort of threat related to travel, aviation, or some sort of terror activity that could be there in Turkey and the surrounding areas as highlighted on the map. And then there could be a hurricane in the southeast coast of the US and the Caribbean islands. So of course, these are the two regions that needs to be little bit cautious over the course of next few weeks. Now to understand this conjunction, let's understand the nakshatra of PurvaPhalguni that is ruled by Venus. The deity that rules this nakshatra is called Bhaga. If you have watched my video on Dwadash Adityas, the 12 Adityas, Bhaga is one of the name for Lord Surya, who rules Capricorn. Bhaga has been derived from another word called Bhoga. That means all the worldly things. That means you're here to consume, you're here to fulfill everything that you desire in this world. So this really represents fortune, love, and also delight. Now, the symbol which is associated to this nakshatra is a hammock, front legs of the bed, and this is the kind of bed that we use during the daytime for relaxation, for rejuvenation, not for sleeping. This is very specifically mentioned in ancient text. The key themes of this nakshatra are around creativity, union, enlightenment, artistic expression, charisma, charm, and also fertility. All of these things are related to the natural fifth sign of Leo and also to the nakshatra of PurvaPhalguni. On a shadow side, it does indicate laziness, it does indicate some sort of indulgence, but here I would like to focus a lot on the positive aspects of this conjunction, because I do not expect detrimental effects that this conjunction is going to have in this world. Mars and Ketu's conjunction in Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra is putting a lot of greater highlight on spiritualized passion and creative liberation. This is very well seen by the sign of Leo, where Mars is definitely bringing in fiery energy. Mars is your willpower. It is the assertion. It does indicate aggression as well, but it does demonstrate assertiveness. So high assertive skills is something which we could probably identify. Ketu is all about detachment. It is the mystical insight. It is also spiritual purification. So in the nakshatra of PurvaPhalguni, this can really manifest to purification of desires, especially if it is related to romance, if it is related to love, validation. Relationships will need validation during this time. So this is one area where we have to be consciously aware. This conjunction also helps channeling sexual energy as well as the creative energy and translating into artistic pursuits, healing, and also tantra and spiritual creation. So for those people who are in some sort of artistic endeavors, for artists, performing arts, designers, especially those working in themes that are related to beauty, love, transformation, this could be quite a beneficial time period for all such professions and all such people. This conjunction is also bringing in radical independence and self-expression. Mars in Leo is all about being proud, bold, and channelizing your self-expression. Ketu is unconventional. It is a non-confirming force. Now, when they work together in this nakshatra, it helps you move away from approval-seeking behavior and rather focus on your own ideas, on your own self, and empower your authentic voice. So a lot of people will voice out their opinions, will voice out their expressions, and this could lead to some sort of agitations as well, particularly against the leadership, and people will be more creative in leadership roles. So as a guidance, you need to encourage yourself to move towards creative pursuit without having the need of a validation from someone else. Make your own decisions and trust your own judgment. This conjunction in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra also brings in healing of relationship attachments, because PurvaPhalguni is deeply connected with union, with relationships, and it has got a sexual energy. It indicates enjoyment. Ketu is more or less detachment. Mars is a very fiery planet. Ketu is also fiery, so it is bringing in a lot of fiery energies here. So this conjunction is an opportunity to release some sort of karmic romantic entanglements and some sort of inner healing that will, of course, help you in an emotional manner. So the baggage that you've been carrying with regards to your relationship, now it is time for you to let go of that baggage if it has been detrimental to you. This conjunction gives us the ability to build healthy boundaries when it comes to love relationship, when it comes to creative partnerships, when it comes to businesses with other people. It will help us draw certain boundaries for our own good. This conjunction also enhances the tantra or the occult power. See, remember, Ketu is the master of occult and hidden realms, and Mars gives a lot of energy, gives a lot of drive. Both of them co-rule the sign of Scorpio, which itself is closely related to occult and all those hidden subjects that involve a lot of research. So those practicing tantra, yoga, spiritual sadhana, this is quite an excellent time if you were to probably reach towards the goals of Kundalini awakening and all such spiritual pursuits. This could really come to life. So certain rituals to reclaim your power and of course help you overcome any sort of decisive illusions and awaken your inner magnetism. This is how I'd like to summarize how spiritually beneficial this conjunction is during this time. And last but not the least, this conjunction in the sign of Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra gives you charisma with power. Mars and Ketu's conjunction can give you a magnetic, piercing presence. Especially, it will help you pierce your own ego and try to follow the path of humility. Be kind to other people. PurvaPhalguni has a lot of creative charisma, and when this is purified by Ketu, it becomes good on others. It becomes quite light on the brain, on your mind. So it helps us reduce stress levels. And the leadership in general becomes more purposeful, more soul-led than being just performative, than just being talking about numbers and performing. It becomes more or less purpose-driven. So it is time for you to explore your purpose-driven paths. Now let us talk about how this is going to have an impact on all 12 ascendant signs primarily. At the physical level, you must read this from your ascendant sign. However, at the mental level, if you want, you can read this from your moon sign as well. For Aries ascendants, this conjunction of Mars and Ketu is happening in your 5th house in the sign of Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. The sign of Leo and the 5th house represents your future pursuits. Love that is unconditional. It is the house of children. Therefore, we see future from this house. This is also Purva Punya, deeds that are related to your past and how it is going to manifest into your future karmas, into what you would do as far as your future is concerned. This house also represents creativity. See, Mars and Ketu, both of them are fiery planets. They've got a lot of fiery energies. Mars is firepower. Ketu is burning fire because it is a headless planet. Both of them co-rule your 8th house, the sign of Scorpio, and they are present in the 5th house, very closely conjoined in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. So what is happening during this time? It is the creative rebirth for you, because birth happens in the 5th house, birth of children, extension of family. This is also the house of creativity. So a lot of firepower is burning here. So this time period is excellent for you to work towards your creative pursuits. New ideas will be generated. This could be a potential time for you to have positional success because it's your Lagna Lord who is making a transit in the 5th house. For those people who are interested in occult sciences, astrology, Jyotish or any of the hidden subjects, this could be a favorable time. See, especially when 5th lords and 8th lords that make a connection, they make a sambandha, even in transit, it becomes a very favorable time to go through any of these pursuits. Of course, you need to be prepared for any sort of suddenness for your future as well. So you have to keep your future secure. On a health level, you have to take care of your digestive system because there is excess energy in your stomach. So you need to ensure that you keep yourself hydrated and you take care of your digestion. What you consume, what you eat. Any mantra based sadhana will be absolutely brilliant for you. Mantras related to Mars could be good for you, or mantras related to Surya could be fantastic for you, and I wish you the very best. Taurus ascendant sign. So Mars and Ketu are coming at the same degree in your 4th house between 20th till 23rd of July, and they're going to be conjoined towards the end of July. This is happening in the sign of Leo, which falls in your 4th house in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. That is ruled by Venus, who is your Lagna Lord. So while this conjunction is happening in your 4th house, I call this charisma with purpose and a sense of detachment, because 4th house is the first moksha trine. 4, 8, 12, these are moksha bhavas. So purpose of life is seen from the 4th house. Your primary education is seen from this house, and the first step towards spirituality, because this house represents your comfort zone. It represents your home life, your safe space, your happy space, mother, homeland, how well you're connected, and of course this represents your assets as well. So there is definitely charisma that you're carrying with purpose, because Mars and Ketu are fiery energies. Both of them are co-ruler of your 7th house, and they're making a transit in the 4th house. So this transit and a close degree conjunction is particularly favorable for your spouse as well. So you will have a renewed thinking when it comes to relationship. You will be more creative because you will try and channelize your fiery energies in finding creative solutions to your relationship problems. This time period definitely is bringing a lot of healing. It will help you step out of your comfort zone to do things that are beyond your comfort zone. Maybe you could get a project that you're probably witnessing for the very first time. See, this conjunction, fiery planet, is happening in your heart chakra. I would highly encourage you to get into some sort of spiritual practices, sadhana, yoga, meditation, because for tantra, mantra, spiritual practices, the energies are quite on a higher side. See, PurvaPhalguni is a very material nakshatra. It represents enjoyments in life, all the comforts that we are surrounded with. It represents our daily mundane life and how creative we are, our self-expression, and it is a very good nakshatra for auspicious events, particularly events such as marriage. So therefore, in your 4th house, it does encourage you to put your energy, attention in all sorts of enjoyments in life, and try to also step out of your comfort zone, because you should be prepared for doing something that you have never done in life. So over the next course of few weeks, you can get an assignment, you can get some work which you're probably doing for the first time. And for your health and well-being, I would encourage some sort of spiritual discipline that you need on a daily basis. Gemini ascendant signs. So what is happening? Mars and Ketu are going to be coming at the same degree between 28th till 23rd of July. My aim of making this video is to remove the fear mongering that has been created in the name of this conjunction. It is happening in your 3rd house. Of course, in the beginning, I introduced PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, so you must watch the first few minutes of this video, because I do not expect a lot of detrimental effects of this conjunction. This happening in your 3rd house, where Mars is said to be the significator or the karaka of the 3rd house. Therefore, it is a positive placement. Both of them co-rule your 6th house. They are the 6th lord of disease, health and wellness, your shad ripus or the weaknesses of the mind, competition, enemies, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. They are making a conjunction in 3rd house. 3rd house is also called Dushchikya Bhava, because it represents all the desires that we have in life, particularly the karma related desires, high sexual energies. This is where the first stepping stone of desires is 3, 7, 11 is the karma trine. So of course, natural sign of Gemini falls in the 3rd house, which is Mithun Rashi. Mars does well because he is the significator. He is the significator of younger siblings, we also see from the 3rd house. Ketu is conjoined. So of course, this time period could help you overcome enemies because you will have power. With power, you will have purification. So if you do not go through a purification process, purification of your mind, purification of your communication, you will be very much self-expressive, because we see expressions, particularly verbal as well as non-verbal communication from the 3rd house, also written communication. Mars is bringing a lot of energy. Ketu is bringing detachment. So there are complex energies here, but this will help you channelize your communication appropriately. This is also a kind of Vipareet yoga in place circumstances. Things could go adverse. Eventually you will rise. So this time period is excellent for putting efforts, for going on journeys, short journeys, long distance journey, and any spiritual travel. You must make use of this time because it will help you enlighten yourself in a spiritual manner. This is a very short and a simple tip that I'd like to share with you. For Cancer ascendant signs, so what is happening between 28th till 23rd of July, Mars and Ketu are going to come at the same degree conjunction. My aim is to remove fear mongering and bring in some positive insights with regards to this conjunction, because I do not expect any detrimental effects, and I have explained this in the beginning of my video. This conjunction is happening in the 2nd house. Of course, any conjunction, any yoga has some positives. It has some blind spots as well. Now this happening in your 2nd house is a particularly weaker position for Ketu, because this is where I always give people advice. We have to be very careful when we talk to others, when we convey message, or of course speak with others, because this house represents your speech. Ketu goes Maran Karak in the 2nd house, or it is a death-like position. Mars is in a fiery planet. Mars is a fiery planet. Both of them are in a fiery sign here. So this time period needs a lot of healing related to your speech. So whenever you open your mouth, you have to be very conscious while you're talking to other people. Of course, this is also a period for authenticity, bringing in a sense of authenticity in your family, towards your family, and also towards your speech, what you convey. This house also represents your accumulation, your storage space, what you accumulate, your wealth, and also those people who you would like to protect. It is the house of consumption, what you eat, what you consume. So on the basis of fiery energies, one thing is that you must stay hydrated all the time, and you could bring some positive developments, positive improvement in your eating habits, in your dietary requirement. So you must also remember that both Mars and Ketu co-rule your 5th house, the sign of Scorpio, and they're making a transit in the 2nd house, are in conjunction. This is forming a Dhan Yoga. So from a financial point of view, this time period could be favorable for you. You could see a rise in your income. You could also have a secondary source of income. You could probably work towards wealth creating opportunities or another source of income, because the Dhan Yoga is pretty much active all through the time. And the only thing that you have to be cautious of is your speech, because see, the words that you use, once you say, you cannot take it back, and this could be detrimental towards your relationship. Otherwise, I do not have major worries for this conjunction. For Leo ascendants, so I am making this video on Mars and Ketu's same degree conjunction and giving you some simple tips, because I want to remove fear mongering that has been happening in the name of this conjunction. Things are very different now. It is happening in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, which is an auspicious nakshatra. So we have to look forward. This conjunction is happening in your 1st house, your Lagna, which is the seat of intelligence. It represents yourself, your body, your vitality, your immunity, who you are. It is your self-power. It is your ego, your self-esteem. Mars is a fiery planet. It has been making a transit in your Lagna. Ketu is also a fiery planet, which is bringing in a sense of detachment. See, at times detachment is very good. Both of these planets are forming a yoga, because both of them co-rule your 4th house. So they're the Kendra Lord now placed in one of the house that is also a trinal house besides being a Kendra house. Therefore, they are in a yoga during this time. Mars is bringing firepower. Ketu is bringing a sense of detachment. So there is charisma, but this charisma is with a purpose. So whatever you do, your action should be determined, and the reason for that, there should be a purpose towards all your actions and your decisions. This is a perfect time for self-expression. See, there are fiery powers, fiery energies. You need to keep yourself hydrated all through the time. You can definitely take some important decisions over the course of next few weeks. You will feel more confident. Of course, if you're detached, it is a good time period for you to reflect, to think, to introspect, and come back in a much more stronger way. You will have high temperament over the course of next few weeks, and as long as you're able to control it through spiritual practices, by strengthening your sun. How would you do that? By having a morning routine. First 30 to 45 minutes of the morning, if you do something that is spiritual, if you do some prayers, this could be absolutely beneficial for you to channelize these fiery energies and ensure that you're driving your own charisma with purpose. Other people are going to come to you to take advice. So be prepared to give the right kind of advice to other people. For Virgo ascendant signs, so what is happening? Mars and Ketu are going to be coming at the same degree conjunction between 20th till 23rd of July. There's a lot of fear mongering that has been happening in the name of this conjunction, and I want to bring some positivity, because here this is happening in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. To understand the effects of this conjunction, we must understand the qualities of this nakshatra, which I have explained in the beginning. Now for you, this is happening in your 12th house of losses, expenditure, your higher self-consciousness. This is the Moksha Bhava. This house also represents spirituality, your spiritual practices, bed comforts. Now, PurvaPhalguni as a nakshatra is also associated to bed, but this is the kind of bed that we use in the daytime for relaxation, rejuvenation. It could be very well associated to a bed that is there around the pool or at the beach where we are relaxing. So an excellent time for you to leverage these energies to relax, to rejuvenate and have no fear. Both Mars and Ketu co-rule your third house, the sign of Scorpio, which is the house of your efforts, valor, courage, and both of them making a conjunction in the 12th house is a Viparit yoga in transit. Circumstances could go adverse. Eventually, you will rise. See, you will have a lot of spiritualized passion over the next few weeks. You will be very passionate towards spiritual practices because Ketu represents spirituality, moksha, and Mars is the passion. It is the fire power. So, any practices that you start, you will be able to be very consistent over the course of time. There is charisma, but it comes with detachment. You need to detach yourself from other people if you were to build your charisma and if you were to come back in a very strong manner. This time period could bring journeys, could bring travel opportunities. You could see yourself moving outside of your home country. If you've been working towards trying to move outside, and if there's been any paperwork which is causing delay, now is the time in the next few weeks that you could see some movement, you could see some sort of development. But yes, the energies are very high and you must keep yourself spiritually uplifted. As a remedy, you must donate to hospitals. If you do that from a karmic standpoint, you will have some positive influence from this conjunction. Libra ascendant sign. So what is happening between 20th till 23rd of July, Mars and Ketu are going to be coming at the same degree conjunction in the sign of Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, which is ruled by Venus, who is your Lagna Lord. No fear mongering, please. I do not expect a lot of detrimental effects of this conjunction. This conjunction also leads to a Tapasvi Yoga. It is very nice for spiritual practices. It is not an Angarak Yoga, and I have clarified this in my previous videos. This conjunction is happening in your 11th house, the Labha Bhava, the house of income, aya, gains, material comforts, material things in life. This house also represents two other things. One, it is the sense of your fulfillment. Why are you here? What is the purpose? What would make you lead towards a state of fulfillment? And this house also indicates illusions. This house represents bigger enemies because this is 6th from the 6th house. However, this house also represents growth because it is in Upachaya Bhava. Any planet, particularly malefics, do very well in the 11th house. You've got two malefics during this time, so I do not expect any detrimental effects largely of this transit. So you will become fearless. You will have fearless, authentic expression with other people over the course of next few weeks because this is the house of your social life, your friend circle, your ability to influence others. We see rewards, we see incentive, we see recognition from the 11th house because this is the second from your 10th house. It represents your consumption at work. So this time period does indicate some sort of work success. See, remember, both Mars and Ketu are the co-rulers of your second house. Being placed in the 11th house during transit is creating a Dhan Yoga. So from a financial point of view, I consider this positive. And throughout the time, of course, over the next couple of months, you can expect some sort of financial rise or an improvement in your financial position. So if you're expecting incentive, any sort of payment, this could very well fructify. You have to take care of your health, particularly your digestive system. This is where you have to be a little bit worried. So if you take care of that, your eating habits and your lifestyle, if you keep that a check, there is no big reason to worry during this time. Scorpio ascendant sign. So what is happening between 20th till 23rd of July, Mars and Ketu are coming at the same degree conjunction in the sign of Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, which is happening in your 10th house. 10th house of karmas, your actions in the society, what you do to survive or sustain yourself in this world. This house represents your work, your profession, your job, your business, whatever you do in life. And this is the Rajya Bhava. This represents throne, success in life, and that too king-like success. It is the house of power, dominance, authority. Both Mars and Ketu are the co-ruler of your ascendant, your Lagna. Therefore, Scorpio particularly is a difficult sign at the karmic level. Now, both your Lagna lords are making a transit in the 10th house. This kind of an opportunity Mars gives you only in about an year and a half. But both Mars and Ketu will only give this opportunity once in about 18 years. So this is not going to come again. So you have to make the most of this opportunity, because both the planets, Mars as well as Ketu, gain directional strength, or they are Digbali in the 10th house. So they favor aspects related to your ascendant and also matters related to the 10th house. And things can happen in a sudden manner. So it could bring in sudden work opportunities, mostly creative pursuits. This time period you're getting power through purpose, and you need to build your charisma in order to make good credible relationship with other people. So if you're working, you must stay away from any sort of heated arguments or office politics. Keep yourself away from all of this. Success is guaranteed. See, both these planets are Digbalis, they are blessings of Lord Vishnu, and when a planet gains directional strength, it works to the optimum potential in terms of its significations and also in terms of its lordship. So you could expect most positive results from a work point of view. But in order to balance that out, you have to focus a lot on your family life, at your home as well, and try to work consciously on your spiritual practice over the next few weeks to create a sense of balance in your professional life and also at your home, because otherwise you will be too engrossed in work, which could be detrimental towards your home life. Sagittarius ascendant signs. So what is happening with you all with the Mars and Ketu same degree conjunction between 20th till 23rd of July, and this is going to last for a few more days. Till the end of July, Mars and Ketu are conjoined in the sign of Leo. There is a lot of fear mongering that has been happening in the name of this conjunction. My aim is to bring in some positivity, because this conjunction is happening in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, that is ruled by Venus. So Venus definitely has some sort of dominance or a role to play in this conjunction. It is happening in your 9th house, which is your Bhagya Bhava, the house of your fortune. Your dharma or religion is also seen from the 9th house. This represents your lineage, long journeys, spiritual journeys, higher education. Spiritual education is also seen from the 9th house. It becomes a very important trinal house. Both Mars and Ketu are the co-rulers of the 12th house in your chart, which represents losses, expenditure, moksha, spiritual upliftment, your ability to donate, your ability to help others. 12th lords making a transit in the 9th house indicates that you must donate towards dharma, donate towards place of worship. You can also donate towards hospitals or those who need. You could do this in the best of your capacity. Now, what is happening during this transit is, firstly, you need to be the protector of your dharma, because both your 12th lords are making a transit in the 9th house. Be the ambassador of your belief system, of your lineage, of your dharma, whatever you believe into, and try to ensure that you're protecting it. As a remedy, you must look up to either Jupiter or Surya, Sun, who is your 9th lord. The deity that rules PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra is called Bhaga Aditya, which indicates enjoyment and of course looking at all the material things and comforts in life. It also signifies your actions in the society, your work. So this time period you will heal from relationship. So there is a karmic level healing, and it indicates that you need to move on now if you've been having any relationship issues, because 3rd house from the 7th is a little bit sensitive house, and therefore 9th house becomes sensitive when it comes to relationship. It is not the most easiest of house, and there's a lot of fiery energy in your 9th house. Go on journeys, travel, and if you travel for spiritual purpose, spiritual upliftment, it could be quite good for you. You must also educate yourself on spiritual learning. Higher spiritual learning is very much indicated, and you will be very creative in your approach, because see, this time period indicates spiritualized passion and creative liberation. These are the two keywords that you have to keep in mind in order to maximize from this transit and channelize the energies in the most positive manner. Capricorn ascendant sign. So Mars and Ketu are coming in close contact at the same degree between 20th till 23rd of July, and they're going to still be conjoined in Leo till the end of July. Do you have reason to worry? I don't think so that there's a lot to worry. So I want to remove the fear mongering. Though this is happening in your 8th house, the house of longevity, life and death, suddenness in life, sudden ups and downs, this is the house of transformation. It is a very secretive house. Mars and Ketu are the co-rulers of the sign of Scorpio, which is itself is a very secretive and a very karmic sign. It indicates hidden desires, deep, dark waters. Both of them are the co-ruler of the 11th house in your chart, the 11th house of gains, your income, also your enemies, opposition. So if enemies are falling in the 8th house, therefore you have very less to worry during this time because they cannot cause any harm. See, 8th house also represents occult, tantra, mysticism, all kind of knowledge that has a hidden meaning, that has a lot of depth, that has a lot of research which is involved in this kind of knowledge. So this time period is bringing tantric awakening, occult power. You have to be careful as well because you could get involved in the darker side of this. So look at the brighter side in order to enhance your knowledge, in order to maximize, learn as much as you can. Over the course of next few weeks, you will have some of the most interesting experiences. Now, one thing that I will advise you is that you need to have some sort of protection for yourself. So make sure that first 15 to 20 minutes of your day, you start with some mantras that could give you a sense of protection. Look up to Sun or look up to your Lagna Lord Saturn. Look up to Lord Hanuman for your protection. Read Hanuman Chalisa on a day-to-day basis. This will give you a lot of knowledge, occult power. This time period is also very good for hidden wealth, for inheritance, gains related to inheritance, and of course you can have a sudden change in your financial position. Mostly I will consider this to be as good. Aquarius ascendants. So what is happening between 28th till 23rd of July, both Mars and Ketu are coming at the same degree conjunction in the sign of Leo in the nakshatra of PurvaPhalguni. Now this is happening in your 7th house. I want to remove fear mongering that has been going in the name of this conjunction, because I do not consider this to be so bad or so dreadful, because the nakshatra that this conjunction is happening is ruled by Venus. It is an auspicious nakshatra. It is quite extensively used for a lot of auspicious events. One such event can also be marriage, and this conjunction is happening in your 7th house. Mars and Ketu's conjunction is bringing in a lot of healing capabilities. So there is healing in relationship. There is detachment which will help you build creative pursuits. Your creativity is going to increase multifold in the next few weeks. See, Mars gains Maran Karaka position or a death-like position in the 7th house. How you read this is that, of course, if it gains Maran Karaka position, it is weak for Mars. Mars and Ketu are the co-ruler of your 10th house. So, of course, you will have to put in a lot more efforts in terms of your work-related success. But this is also a very good opportunity to start something of your own, like a business. Now, your spouse can go or your partner can go out of the way to help you, because some or the other point in time, the partner suffers. For you, it is good because they become an ardent follower. So this is how you must read this. From a business and its outcome point of view, it is quite a positive transit because both Mars and Ketu rule your 10th house of work, your profession, your actions in the society, and they are making a transit in the 7th house. Your 7-1 axis is pretty active. This could bring in minor temperament issues, but since it is happening in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, you are healing from relationship. You need to be quite positive, because when you heal from attachments, you're moving towards a state of detachment, which will help you think, reflect, and be more creative, so that you can make better decisions related to your business, related to your line of work, and related to yourself. I will highly encourage 30 minutes of spiritual discipline or spiritual sadhana over the next few weeks to maximize these energies. Pisces ascendant sign. So what is happening between 20th till 23rd of July? Mars and Ketu are coming at the same degree conjunction, which is happening in your 6th house. Is there any reason to worry? I'm here to remove the fear mongering that has been created and has been building up non-stop over the last few weeks and months in the name of this conjunction. See, I have explained in a very detailed manner in the beginning of my video with regards to what this conjunction means in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, that is ruled by Venus. So it is happening in Leo, ruled by Sun, but in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra, which is the nakshatra of creative pursuits. It is an auspicious nakshatra for relationship, love, expression, and for auspicious events. So you are getting power through purification, because 6th house represents growth. It is the upachaya bhavas, and Mars likes to compete because Mars is a warrior. Ketu does not like competition. Ketu is separation. Ketu is detachment. So it will help you detach yourself from the weaknesses of the mind. Those are shad ripus, we also call them. It will detach you from getting into any kind of unnecessary debts, or it will help you overcome competition or your enemies, because both Mars and Ketu are friendly towards your Lagna Lord Jupiter. Mars brings in growth, firepower. Ketu is helping you purify. So you will probably like to build more strength through purification. Both of them are the co-ruler of your 9th house in the chart. So they're important planets for Pisces ascendant. So their transits play an important role. You have to purify your daily routine, things that you do on a day-to-day basis. There is no scope of indulgence, extravagance, and any such habits that you have. You could go through a lifestyle change that could be very positive for you. Make sure that you take care of your digestive system, because 5th house is your stomach and 6th house represents your digestive system, because it is all about consumption of what you consume, what you feed yourself, and of course it is very closely related. Make sure by the virtue of these fiery energies you are keeping yourself hydrated in the best of your interest for your health and well-being. This time period could be very good to make key decisions, competitive exams, any sort of competition. You should be successful in case you're going through a favorable dasha antardasha. This time period could also see you settle some past debts and move on in life. Have a spiritual discipline, 30 to 45 minutes every day. Ensure that you get into any sort of spiritual practices or sadhana to maximize these energies, and I wish you the very best. So friends, this was a unique perspective around Mars and Ketu's upcoming same degree conjunction in Leo in PurvaPhalguni Nakshatra. I hope and believe that this conjunction brings in a sense of positivity, helps us be more creative, live with a purpose, and also heal from any negative relationship, so we can look forward to a positive future, and helps us build our charisma. Stay tuned for more such videos on my channel. Thank you very much. God bless you all.